I'm joined now by the aforementioned Simon Sandoval-Moshenberg. He's one of Kilmar Abrego Garcia's attorneys. Simon, thank you for being here. Obviously, it's been a very busy day for you. Talk to me first about your client. What is he doing now? Have you been able to have any contact with him? What's his state of mind?
So Mr. Abrego Garcia was, separated from his family for about half a year. Finally, on Friday afternoon, he was released from the jail in Tennessee. He made his way up to Maryland, arrived around 3 a.m. at Saturday morning. His whole family was there to meet him. He spent the whole weekend getting, together with his family and friends and reuniting. We knew all along that detention was a very real possibility. At this ICE check-in this morning, it's really unfortunate that they chose to do that. There was no need. He was already on electronic monitoring, practically house arrest. But in any event, they did choose to take him into detention this morning.
And how did his family respond to that? Even though they were prepared to see him potentially detained once again, it seemed like a pretty emotional scene there in the courtroom.
Yeah, it's a real yo-yo of emotions. I mean, to go from not even knowing if he's dead or alive when he was being held incommunicado in El Salvador to having him back in the United States, but behind bars, several states away, then having him back in the house, and now again in yet another detention center. It's been quite the roller coaster for them. But remember, this is someone who understood that he was out of the woods from an immigration perspective. He won his case in 2019. He thought he was fine. And now it's been all of this.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about what comes next. As Gary pointed out, there's an evidentiary hearing before he can be deported, which is something that you fought for and won. Are you confident the Trump administration is going to abide by the court orders and not deport your client to Uganda before this evidentiary hearing takes place? Yes,
and the judge made very clear to get the Department of Justice attorney on the record as sort of repeating back her instructions, as it were, at the hearing, the telephonic hearing this afternoon, and confirmed that they will not remove him pending this evidentiary hearing. It's really crazy that I have to file a federal lawsuit to sort of, establish the position that someone can't be put on a plane and deported while they're waiting for the hearing to determine whether or not they can be deported, right? Like, that ought to be obvious, but here we are.
I mean, is that happening even more than we realize to potential clients who don't have the same high profile or notoriety that Abrego Garcia has?
It really is. I mean, I must have gotten, since the Abrego Garcia case blew up, I must have gotten about 15 emails from different immigration lawyers saying, yeah, my client was also erroneously deported, even though he had a stay of removal. What do I do? And this whole business with third country removals is really brand new. It's just something that started. We thought that Abrego Garcia was, sort of a one-of-a-kind case, but it turned out really to just be the tip of the spear.
And so you filed a lawsuit today, which you hope will prevent him from being deported. What's the status of that lawsuit, and what are the next steps?
So he's got the right to essentially fight out a case as to any particular country that they want to designate that he deems would be inappropriate, that his safety would be at risk in that country, or more critically, that hasn't given him assurances that they're not going to just turn around and redeport him to El Salvador, right? So Uganda, even if they were to name Spain as the country, unless they've got guarantees that he can stay in that country, all it is really just a way station on the way right back to El Salvador, where it's already been established that he can't go.
Yeah.
And that's what we have from Costa Rica right now. Assurances of refugee status, assurances that they will not redeport him.
So is it your expectation here that it's not a matter of if he'll be deported, but when he is deported and where he's deported to?
Yeah, look, I mean, if the government really wanted to remove him from this country as quickly as possible, we could work that out tomorrow. Right? I mean, Costa Rica is a perfectly reasonable option.
And how long do you think it's going to take for this whole process to play itself out?
I don't know. And part of the issue is, why do they have the right to detain him, keep him behind bars, to send him to Uganda, which is basically, it seems like, chosen at random by throwing darts at a map on the wall, when there's a perfectly reasonable country that's already offered him refugee status.
So the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, talked about your client today earlier in the Oval Office. I want to play a little bit of that for you.
We've got him under control. He will no longer terrorize our country. He's currently charged with human smuggling, including children. The guy needs to be in prison. He doesn't need to be on the streets like all these liberals want him to be.
So what's your reaction and the characterization that she has of your client?
I mean, 5 courts have looked at this case, from the original immigration judge in 2019 all the way up through the U.S. Supreme Court, now the 2 judges in Tennessee, the magistrate judge and the district judge, and not one of them has agreed with that characterization once they actually have evidence filed in court.
But do you feel like you need to or will fight these accusations against him here in the United States, or are you more focused on the deportation end of this?
Yeah, I'm really focused on making sure that they don't have, excessively prolonged detention in terrible conditions in an ICE detention center for no reason when there's a reasonable possibility that's already on the table.
Okay. All right, Simon, thank you so much. We appreciate you being here, and please keep us up to date with the latest on your client.
Good to be back.
All right, thank you.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.